So, hey, gang, I'm sitting here with Keith Greenow and Coastal Guns and Ammo. He is the owner of Coastal Guns and Ammo, correct, Keith?
Yes, sir.
That makes you, this is a very highly regulated industry that makes you a very credible person. So, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you, sir. Absolutely.
Understand your grandmother was an owner of Hickory Hall at one point in time. I guess you've got a generation of relatives that live there. So, the floor is yours. We'd love to hear what you have to say about maybe what you've heard or what's been told to you,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes. My grandmother, when we were children, we talked about, she would tell us about Hickory Hall. We didn't really know a whole lot about it. We knew it was in Calabash, North Carolina, where she grew up. She was one of, I believe it was 5 children. After her mother passed away right after childbirth, and her father had already passed away. He was a seafaring man, a sea merchant. They were adopted by her grandmother, and she actually lived in Hickory Hall.
Okay.
She would, as children, they had a farm there, so she would pretty much cook morning, noon, and night for the workers and for her brothers and stuff. So, the long story short, some of the things that she would tell us as we were growing up, she would hear scratching sounds, running sounds, crying coming from the attic area.
From the attic.
From the attic.
Right.
She lived one floor up from her. Where she lived was the attic.
Okay.
Of course, it scared them as children, and she was told by her grandmother that it was just the children. Playing, running in the attic, whatever it may be, not realizing, what it could be, not realizing the history of the house. Mm-hmm. She would also, the other thing she would tell me was that, and I don't remember this story very well, but she told me something about a gurney leaving the attic, coming down from the attic, but that's kind of where I don't remember, so I don't want to say something that I do not remember, but I do remember hearing of a gurney, whether that good or bad or indifferent.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So it may have been found up there and somebody removed it, is what
Correct.
you're saying.
Don't know if it was used to keep people and bring people down, bring people up, but don't know.
Right.
Knowing the history.
Right.
Kind of, anyway, you make your own mind up there.
Yeah.
But the other thing she told me, and she was very vivid of it, she told me this 3 or 4 times, was that she was out pumping water. They did not have running water at the time when she was little. So they had a hand pump outside of the house, and she went to pump the water, and she saw a red looking, what she described as a jack-o'-lantern, a little bit about the size of a basketball, come out of the attic, float down in front of her, and sit there for about maybe 8 to 10 seconds, hovered in front of her, and then flew up underneath the house. Now, what that means, I do not know, but it scared her bad enough that she ran inside without the water, went and got one of her brothers, and then they came out.
Because she was a young girl.
She was a little girl. Okay. She was maybe 8 years old.
Okay, wow.
Something around there, but back then everybody had chores to do, and that was hers of that day. So, but after we found out later on through some research with some different people, there was a doctor.
You found out the history.
Found out a little bit of the history
right.
from what it was.
Right.
And found out that there was a doctor there, and I believe his name was Frank. And he was a plantation owner, which back in that day was he owned slaves. And they heard that there was some not so good type things, medicines tried on them, experiments, things such as that, mm-hmm. that were done to these people. And that was where. That was, after learning about that, then that kind of makes sense about some of the noises, some of the things possibly, but that leaves you to believe whatever you believe. So that is the history that I know. As far as Hickory Hall, I know that now there are different things that people say here, but that's all that I know from someone that actually lived there, which was my grandmother.
What are you referring to? What are some of the things that have been said that you can't confirm?
Have not heard it myself. Footsteps, moans, groans, growling noises, things such as that. I have not been there enough to know, but I can tell you this. We have been back there before I knew anybody in this room, before when I was probably 16, 17 years old, my grandmother would not set foot in that house
Really?
ever again. No, sir.
Really?
She did not want to have anything else
Once
to
she
do
was
with that.
out of there,
She told me she'll never go back in that house again, and she didn't. To her, the day she died, 86 years old,
Wow.
she never set foot in there. She went back probably a dozen times and would not walk. She would walk on the grounds, but she would never set foot back in that house.
My goodness.
Simple as that. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Keith.
Absolutely.
We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
I really
Thank
appreciate
you
your
so
time.
much. Yeah, we appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you for being willing to tell us about your family and the
Yes.
house, and very interesting.
I really appreciate it.
And your brother's David.
David is my brother.
We're going to talk to him as well.
Yes, sir.
In fact, we're going to tour the house.
Yes, sir. Well, I wish you the best. Just be very careful.
Okay. We may need some of your guns and ammo
You can
before we
get
go out there.
Whatever you need, I got it right here waiting on you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you
We
for your
appreciate
time,
it.
sir.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
nice to meet you. Absolutely.
I'm
Take
a
it away.
card carrying, concealed carry
Yeah,
guy
there you
myself,
go.
so I'm
There
taking
you
a
go.
look around.
Okay.
All right. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rusty, wait a minute. Wait. There was something else I forgot to mention during that. I'm sorry.
Sure.
There was there's one that did not come from my grandmother, but from her sister. Her name was Marie.
A story?
A story.
Okay.
That I did forget to mention, and I'm sorry. I remember my aunt, it was my great aunt Marie, telling me that she remembers when she was a child, knowing that when she went up into the attic
Mhm.
and she saw some scratch marks on the wood and a big ring that had a nail driven through it to hold it into place. And also with that, what looked to be bloody handprints
Really?
looked to be children's size, maybe women's size, maybe a little bit bigger than that, but don't know how many. She didn't say how many, but I remember her telling me that when my grandmother was telling me one of the stories. And I said, oh God. So my grandmother looked at her like, wish she wouldn't have told me that as a young child.
Right.
But there again, that was one of the things that I do remember her saying. And the way to get into the attic is pretty much the size. It's almost like a hatch size.
Right.
And if you notice the lock system on it, everybody else's, you would either pull it down to go in. This one, I remember had a hasp, lock and hasp on it to keep
Mm-hmm.
not people from going up, but keep people from coming out.
What other reason would there be to have an iron ring in an attic?
The only thing I can think is if there was people kept upstairs for this doctor or whoever to experiment, talk, do whatever he was going to do, would be to hold them in there. It didn't see any signs of rope, chain, anything like that. All she told me was there was a ring with a huge, like what to be a hook shaped nail driven into,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean the wood up there is probably 12 by 12 for it to be a header board, driven into there. And of course, somebody's up there trying to get away. They would pull whatever the case may be, and trying to get it out of the thing. Maybe tear their hands up. Who knows? But I do remember her vividly saying there was a ring with a big tight nail through it to hold it. That was her words. And she saw scratch marks and what appeared to be bloody handprints.
I got a random question for you.
Please.
We're talking about 200 years.
Absolutely.
If the fingerprints were bloody,
Mhm.
were caused by bloody
Mhm.
hands, would those prints still be visible today?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Yes. That is the one thing. Blood has a lot of chemicals. It has iron, things such as that would soak into the wood. If there is what she said there was, where she had no reason to tell me any different or tell me something that wouldn't be true, they would. I'm almost 100% sure they would be there today, because you can still get DNA off of spearheads and things that people have been hit
That's
with
true.
back in the day, if it's still pliable, if it as far as they can receive something off of it.
Yeah.
Blood is one of the things that is hard to go away. It's a part of our chemical makeup, and if there's any sense in it, there's never been any reason for it to go away.
Right.
Nobody's cleaned it. I'm not going up there, but from what I understand, like I say, there would be no reason for her to tell me anything that would, she's not going to gain anything or lose anything by telling me that.
Right.
So, but I believe everything she told me, that she would have told me.
Thank you, Keith.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting.
Hey, Rusty. Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Doing okay?
Doing good.
Looking forward to hearing your story.
Same here. Ready to tell you.
This is it, huh?
This is it. This
Nice.
is the old homestead.
Can't wait to get inside.
Let's go. The story you're close to me.
I bet.
It's original. The original part is right here. This goes all the way back to pre-Revolutionary War,
Okay.
and then all that was added on.
Okay.
But this is where you ever seen the movie The Patriot?
Yes.
All right. In the movie, his name was Tavington. His real name was Tarrington. Supposedly, they stayed here and ran skirmishes into Wilmington and into Georgetown. And the Dragoons would stay here and use this as a base of operation because it's so close to the water
Wow.
and halfway between Wilmington and Georgetown. So, just good to know that.
Nice.
But yeah, it's taken a beating over the years, but it's a neat place, man.
Very cool.
It's got a dark history, though.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Hi, folks. Rusty here. I'm standing here at Hickory Hall. Hickory Hall's in Calabash, North Carolina. Hickory Hall was a plantation home. It was typical of the plantation homes back in the late 1700s, early 1800s. You'll find homes like this from here to Charleston, South Carolina. It was used as a working plantation. They had 3,000 acres here, the original owners, overlooking the Calabash River. And it was a working plantation that they used to raise cotton, produce cotton and harvest cotton. And they also used it to produce naval stores. Now, naval stores are things that are made from our Carolina pines, like pitch and tar and turpentine, things like that. Things that were used to maintain and waterproof the sailing ships of the day. So that's kind of what the house is all about. The timbers were made from the hearts of the pine trees. The bricks were handmade by the slaves. The original owners had some 76 odd slaves here working on the plantation. It changed hands a few times. It was started in 1799, finished completion in 1812. At some point, the Franks owned the property. Samuel Frank and Balloon Frank, his wife, not Balloon, but Bellune was her name. They had 7 children. They had 2 sons, 5 girls. The oldest son, his name was Lorenzo Frank. He became Dr. Lorenzo Frank. He was quite the character. He went off to Pennsylvania to medical school, got his degree as a doctor, and then went off to England to study and do more with his medical profession over there. But he was expelled from England. He was expelled because he was caught performing unauthorized surgeries on the poor people from the slums of England. And as legend has it, and it's been documented in many books, many articles, Dr. Lorenzo Frank came back to Calabash, North Carolina, where he continued his unauthorized and very ghastly surgeries on his slaves. And that, my friends, is where this story begins. Looks a little spooky, David.
It is. It's very eerie.
David, tell us about these timbers here. It looks like they've been reinforced.
They have. The current owner spent quite a bit of money to get it reinforced because just the structural integrity over the past 250 years, it's kind of wear and tear and neglect.
Yeah.
But you can tell the flooring, how wide the planks are, that's not what we use today. And you can see over here, it's tongue and groove.
Yeah.
All along the tops there. That's old carpentry.
That's the original flooring on top of these
Yes, sir.
beams.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And then up underneath the foundation, they are between 16 and 18 inch round hand-hewn timbers.
Underneath the house?
Yes, sir. That have the King's Crown stamped on it, on each one that's made.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind, tell us what your family's relationship is with this house. I mean, this is all new to me. I didn't know that your family has all this history here. So let's establish that first. We'll go to another room, and when we get further in, and have you tell some stories
Okay.
about what maybe your family's experienced. But tell us, what's your connection with this house?
Our connection goes back to the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s,
Okay.
when they purchased it from the Frank family. My great grandmother was a Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway was her cousin.
Wow.
He would come here and stay in this house.
No way.
Yes, he would. He would come here and stay in this house. And I don't know if he wrote any stuff then. I have no clue.
Sure.
But she was part of the Hemingways out of South Carolina, outside of Columbia.
Okay.
And that's where his family was, out of South Carolina. So he would come here and stay too. But I don't know if he had any experiences or anything. But we go back, a long way with this. This
Your
is
great-great-grandparents?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, before the Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah, my family goes back to Wilmington to the 1720s. So that's how far back we go, just across the river. And here we go back to, mid 1800s. But that's where my story began. And in this
Did you hear
house,
that?
yeah. Did you hear it?
I did hear it.
Okay.
We're going to go further in this house?
I don't really want to, man, but it's still daylight and I'm okay in the day.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. But you'll hear stuff. And my family has had at least 4 people die in this house that I know of. And I don't know how many more have perished because of, botched medical work or,
Sure.
work of a madman. I
Right.
have no clue.
Right.
So that's what we know here. And I just got a cold draft coming
I
on.
felt that. Is that coming from that?
I don't know, that thing's moving though.
And we're going to go further and upstairs?
I don't want to, but I know we got to do this. And it's a long drive from Wilmington to here.
Okay. All right. So you've been tied to this house, or your family's been tied for decades.
Oh, yeah. For centuries.
Now, you were talking about an orphanage or orphans or something at one point?
Yeah, they were, my great aunt, great uncle, great uncle, great uncle, and my grandmother were all orphaned here. And they didn't have money, because both parents are dead. You got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old, in the South during the Depression, where have you got to go?
Right.
So this house was left to them, so their grandmother moved in with them. And she helped, keep it up and keep them centered, but she also died here. So that's 4 of my direct relatives that have died in this house, of natural causes. But then there's some that didn't.
David, what did they do to support themselves?
They had farmland back there. They would pick butter beans, peas, corn, you name it. Every morning before school, that's what they would do. They would wake up at 4 in the morning and go out there and work in the field, get a bunch of it done. And they had other people that would come help. They had like sharecroppers that would come in and give them a hand, and they would share in on
Because there was so much land. With
there was so much land. The original grant from England was 3,000 acres.
Correct.
It got up to over 25,000
Really?
acres. Yes.
Amazing.
Well,
So David, this property's been, your family's been involved with this property for a long, long time.
mhm.
I'm sure that your family has stories, things they've heard, things they've experienced. Tell us.
Well, the ones that I've heard from the time I can remember are the screams and moans and walking from the attic, second floor, hearing people, screaming, yelling, and they said you could hear audible groans and growls. And people that even come in here now still hear that. They still hear the growls, the groans, the footsteps. And like right here in this room is where my uncle, my great uncle, back in the 1920s, 1930s, they were orphaned at the age of 5. I mean, they were orphaned. 5 children were orphaned of my grandmother's. All of them, their parents died when my grandmother was 18 months, and then her father died when she was 3, and he was a ship captain that would bring goods in to Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, all the way from England to Bermuda, and it would stop off, and he made great money. So this house he was able to buy. But when he bought the house, he bought all the
Everything,
sounds like he
came,
bought all the
everything
memories.
came with it, right?
Everything within it that was good and bad came
Right.
with it.
Sure.
And this is where my great uncle actually saw a man with, he said he looked more ragged and just beat down than anything he's ever seen. And the man just stood here and faced out this window and just evaporated, like turned into like glitter falling. And that's what he saw. Of course, the noises you can hear at night. I mean, I'm sure you can hear them in the daytime. I don't stay here. I've never wanted to stay here. I don't know how anybody would want to stay here because it's creepy. As you can see, it just got light all of a sudden.
Definitely
It's just
creepy.
weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they used to have a hickory table, a table that was a stump, a hickory stump that everybody would come from around town, play cards on. It was that's why it got its name Hickory Hall. They built the house around the hickory stump and hewn it out to use as a table. And they would play cards. They would, play music. They would, gamble,
Sure.
eat dinner there. But it was a big enough table to house about 10 people. And that's where it got its name. But there's other legends like outside at the well, and I'll take you out there in a second, where my grandmother, who was one of the most godly women I've ever met, she was out there as a teenager pumping water out of the well, and she she described it as a jack-o'-lantern. It was like a glowing orb came out of where the roof was, the attic, came out of there, hovered around her face, and she said it was the size of a basketball, but it was glowing and had she said it looked like a bubble the way it has different hues of colors in it, but it was orange and it was flashing orange, red, and just like plasma. And it circled her a couple of times, and then it went straight into the bottom of the house up underneath it.
Oh my goodness.
And she ran in and told her grandmother, who was still alive at the time, what she had seen. And she said, "Don't worry, we see that all the time. That's the babies from upstairs," because she didn't want her to be scared by saying it's babies from upstairs. And that's what they would refer to the people up there as babies.
To keep the kids from
To keep the
being
kids
afraid.
from being scared. They just call them babies.
Wow. Wow.
All right, show me more.
Let's go. All right. Some of these places, I don't know my way through here because I haven't been here since I was like 7.
Yeah.
But this is the staircase that people would run down and heal, supposedly.
This is the staircase because one of the women was supposedly she fell down the
Yeah,
stairs.
she died right there.
But the report is
He
that
killed her.
she got pushed.
He killed her.
Yeah.
And this weird door. See how short it is?
Yeah.
This is the really old part of the house.
Okay.
But you can see how it's made.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they used to cook right here.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, here's the fireplace piece right here.
okay. That's been there a while.
That's been there a while. And that's
That's for the
for the logs there.
it sure is.
Yeah. Sure is.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
No telling how long that's been there.
Uh-huh.
And but you see the ceilings are 15 feet.
Yeah, they're up there.
But these are original doors. The original locks on them. And they got the skeleton key.
How can that thing be over 200 years old and be just as straight as an arrow? Look at that.
Because their craftsmanship
Wow.
is beyond anything we know today.
That's unbelievable.
But look at the old locking system with the skeleton key up under it.
That looks like oak right there. Oh yeah. Now, David, this staircase, that's the original handrail, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Everything here is original, from every step to everything on it is original.
Okay, so now I read in the documents that Dr. Lorenzo Frank,
Mhm.
his wife,
Jessie, I believe her name was.
I think you're right.
I read where she died falling down these stairs.
Yeah, fell down these, from what I understand, because they go pretty far up there, and it's a dead fall straight to where it winds down right here. But
And obviously somebody's carpeted it over the years.
oh yeah,
It was once wood.
It was once all slick wood.
Well, the legend has it that she didn't fall.
She didn't fall. Well, of all the stuff he did, I'm sure
He's a pretty dark individual.
it's pretty dark in
Yeah.
there. If she didn't fall,
She had some assistance
Yeah.
there from the
Let's-
good doctors, what I read.
let's say that, because he assisted a lot of people to go to the other side.
Yeah, okay. Wow, amazing. Well, let's head up to where the slaves were
Let's go.
worked on.
This is where my grandmother was born, right here.
So your family lived here for
Uh-huh.
a time.
Oh yeah, they lived here. You know, they were a part of this house for 165, 170 years.
I should also state, David, that you were in your previous career, you were a detective
Oh yes, sir.
as a law enforcement
I was
officer.
in law enforcement. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And definitely up here.
Can we go up there?
Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure.
Sure. I don't want to.
Why don't you wait? We call it weight check. You weight check that stair.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah.
This is where he did the surgeries.
They didn't use OSB here, man. Look,
No,
look at
no,
those
that's all.
timbers. My goodness, so thick. Look like 2x8s,
They are.
2x10s.
It's solid too.
Wow. And this
But
was
you can
added
see-
right
you
here,
can see
right?
fingerprints right here, supposedly where they tried to get out and stuff. You see them over there?
Whoa. Let me get over here where I can see.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall through the ceiling. David, what are these? What are these fingerprints here?
The legend is these are prints from the people that were being experimented on, them thrashing and trying to get out.
Bloody fingerprints.
Yeah, bloody fingerprints are there. They're there.
I see.
They're all over the place.
All the way down.
There. You got them
Yeah,
right there. They're real faint, some of them.
Wow.
If you take the shadow of the light,
Uh-huh.
you can see them better. See the angle?
Oh yeah.
They show better. And you can see them all,
They're
see 'em right there in the
Yeah.
middle?
Oh, all over this
because
place.
this is where
Oh my gosh.
they would tie them up right here.
right in here.
And they were trying everything they could to get out.
Right.
Now, David, we know who the owner is today.
Mm-hmm.
We've spoken to him, and they're doing some restoration.
Yes.
But there's been several vandalisms out here over the years,
Mhm.
and I understand there were shackles and chains found in this
Yeah,
area.
they were all right in this area right here where the tables, and they had like U's where the U's were cut into the wood.
Yeah,
They would have a piece of wood up here and they would shackle them down to that and hold them down and do,
like
and keep
like
either,
like stocks.
like
stocks.
stockades almost. But they would just hold them up here, and then there was a table that they would set them up on and do their, I guess you'd call it surgery. I don't know what you call it now.
Wow.
Same thing he got kicked out of London for, or Great Britain for doing surgeries without a license, but he was doing really cruel stuff
He
here.
was doing surgeries.
He was just
unauthorized.
yeah, he was just experimenting
Yeah, yeah.
on the slaves and poor people from the area.
Yeah,
And they would just,
probably giving them something to knock them out.
yeah, and then just
They wake up without a kidney or something.
seeing what would work. Really crazy.
This is crazy.
Now, David, these a lot of these beams have been replaced or reinforced.
Mm-hmm.
There's an original one there. What's that hole right there?
That hole would be where they were anchored down to one of those.
The slaves.
One of his supposed patients would be anchored down to one of those positions.
Okay.
But a lot of them had been replaced because they had to reinforce the house.
Of course, yeah. Keep her from falling in.
But that's one of the keeper places right there.
This is unbelievable. I mean, these are like, they're 2 inches thick. These are like 2x10s. I mean, what do we use today?
OSB.
They don't even use plywood anymore. Use OSB. These are
You
like
can see
2
how
by
thick
10.
that is right there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's a real piece of wood.
That's amazing.
Just they cut no corners back then.
Yeah, these old jars. No telling what he had in those things.
There's no telling.
All righty. Now, David, this obviously he would have had this area locked off.
Oh yes, yeah. Nobody would be allowed up here from what we've heard.
Just him.
Just him, and you could hear the wailing of the screams and agony, despair. You could hear it. They said outside the house.
And this is the hatch.
Yes, that's
get
the
in?
hatch.
Well, look,
You can see the old lock right there
there's a hinge.
where it would hook over.
There's the hinge pieces right
That's
there.
right.
What are we? So we've been standing on the door. Somebody's kicked in the door.
Yeah, somebody's kicked in the door. I didn't know it was there.
I see the hinges on the other side.
Okay.
Let's see. If I see the hinges,
Yes.
if I flip this over, hopefully nothing crawls out. Well, look at there.
There's.
That would have been the hasp
That's it.
to lock
Mm-hmm.
this area off.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Yeah, I think we need to go downstairs.
Let's do it. Hey, Rusty, there's another story I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
They were just doing renovations to this place a little over a year ago, maybe 2 years.
This is the new owner.
The new owner, yes. He was upstairs working, and he thought the workers were still here.
Okay.
Well, what he did, he was doing what he was doing, sweeping, cleaning up, just trying to make it presentable. And he heard a moan or a growl and this man is old school, like no ifs, ands, or buts, no gray area. It's the way it is. He described it as unworldly, like menacing. And he has not been back here since. He will not
The
come
current
in.
owner
The
has
current
not
owner,
been back here
He
since.
does not want to come in here.
Did you hear that?
Did you do that? What? Dude,
What was that?
I don't know, but I got chills. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
I don't know if we should be saying that. I don't know if they're mad. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't want to make them mad.
We didn't stage that.
No.
Yeah, we got
And
one cameraman, David and myself. There's nobody else here. But that happened over there.
There's nobody there.
No.
Here's the well. This is where the pump was over here.
Oh, you got to get this concrete.
Yeah.
And this is the well.
This is the well. This is where it happened.
Tell us what happened.
My grandmother, when she was a young girl, was out here getting water into the house for cooking, whatever. And it was a normal thing for them to come out here and get the water, bring it in. She was pumping the well, and something popped out of the roof where the attic is, where the experiments were supposedly done, which they were done. And it was an orange and red plasma type ball that came out, looped around, got in front of her, hovered in front of her, and she was just mesmerized and stunned and scared, didn't know what to do. It circled her at least once, and I remember her saying, and then shot up under the house. And she never saw it again. She went in and told her grandmother, and her grandmother said, that's just the babies.
The babies.
The babies. They all attributed it to just babies crying. You hear babies crying. You don't hear that going on upstairs. That's not ghosts, it's babies.
So calling them babies was their attempt to
Minimum.
remove the
Yeah,
fear
remove the fear, because nobody's
the
really
children.
scared. Nobody's scared of a baby.
of the noises they're hearing.
Yes, nobody's scared of a baby. And that's what they would rationalize it as, but it worked to a point, where all 5 of them would stay in one room in a 12-bedroom house.
Wow.
No, am I right or wrong?
We got it on film.
We got it on film.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh man, I ain't going in that
a
house.
lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of handprints that when you shine the light on it a certain way, you can tell that they're handprints with fingerprints with blood all over them. And it's a good probably 20 or 30 of them at least.
A lot of
Yeah,
them
some of them are very small handprints.
like kids.
Oh my goodness.
It's not dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely not dirt, and it's on the old wood.
on the old one.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Okay.
And
Mm.
you didn't cut your hand up there, did you?
No, I did. I guarantee you I ain't been up there.
Yeah, we went up there, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Well, you got some pictures of it?
Yes, sir. Got video and still pictures.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right.
But yeah, what we thought went on there, it looks like everything's adding up that it really did happen there.
Gracious. Yeah.
But we did hear something growl at us, did we not?
We did.
Something made a cold wind blew on us. And then before that, was it before that or after that thing growled? It sounded like
It was after.
it was after. It sounded like a growl.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what I heard is I don't know. I got out of this so fast, but it's kind of like a moan or growl or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, this is in between that. That's about what we heard. But the house inside, it really is a big house.
It is a big house. But that wing off there to the left, that's a great room in there. It's both upstairs and down.
Oh yeah, it's nice. I went in there and went to where my great grandmother died. Went into one of those rooms. Yeah, she died in the room up to the as you go up the stairs immediately to the right. Yeah, man, this house is a very cool structure though.
It is.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really menacing inside. Once you get in, it's like everything changes once you go inside.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't want to spend the night in there.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. I'm not going to do it. I think you should.
You're not going to do it.
No, I ain't going to do it.
Mr. Rusty here. Thank you for letting us look in your place today. Now, I understand you were upstairs and you heard something while you were out here working one day?
Yeah, well, I was down there. I had some workmen down there after I bought it, and I had some workmen down there. They were working on a foundation, and they left. They didn't tell me. They left, and I was down there by myself, and I was coming out the door there, and well, I was still in the house, but I was getting ready to leave, and I heard this growling, moaning. I don't know. It was anyway. It was very. I'd been by myself too, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get out of here. I ain't gonna stay down here by myself. So, yeah, I heard it.
Have you been back since?
Well, yeah, I've been back. That was when I first bought it. Yeah, I've been back, but I ain't been too eager to get in the house.
I understand. Well, thank you again. We really appreciate you giving us access today.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Folks, that concludes our episode and our investigation of Hickory Hall. 250 years of stories, legends, sightings, sounds. Is it real? We don't know. We came to investigate. And I'll be honest with you, we'd heard a lot of stories. We've read reports, newspaper articles, books. Are there documents to support the tale of Dr. Frink's attic surgeries? Absolutely. In the 1976 history book on the city of Calabash, titled Calabash, Now and Then, Arthur Carroll McLamb notes that a surgical table with arm and leg shackles was discovered and removed from the attic when the house was being remodeled back in the 1970s. The account also mentions the finding of Dr. Frink's medicine bottles strewn about the attic. Fingerprints. We were not expecting to find fingerprints. We had not read about fingerprints. We've seen nothing in the historical record. We had heard no tales about fingerprints. Are the fingerprints that we found the bloody prints of unwitting patients grasping for freedom while chained to Dr. Frink's surgical table? Maybe we can convince the current owner to let us back in the home at some point in the future to run some tests on the prints. Or just maybe we'll leave that task to future investigators. Was Dr. Lorenzo Frink a real person? Absolutely. We located his gravestone in Wilmington next to his wife, Jessie. Did he perform these experimental medical procedures on enslaved people in his attic? Did Jessie fall down the stairs that took her life, or was she pushed? Do the stories of people hearing thumping in the stairwell have anything to do with Jessie Frink losing her life there? Are the stories of moans and groans and fireballs emanating from the attic true? What other secrets are hiding in this 250-year-old home full of stories, locked rooms, quiet attics, hallways, and things that remember pain? And what lies ahead for this historic home? Thank you for sharing this investigative journey with us. Subscribe to our channel and join us next time on Carolina Case File.